Yo, this is your favorite friendly neighborhood Toronto, and today we're going to be talking about the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man joining Marvel's Avengers. And if you can tell by my intro, Spider-Man is one of my favorite superheroes of all time, and I'm just super excited that he's going to be a playable character in this game. And all of that is exciting, but it did come with the news that he will be exclusive on the PlayStation platform. For me, as a PlayStation gamer primarily, it's not like I'm going to be missing anything, and I can certainly understand why people who are playing on either PC or on Xbox, they feel a little slighted. But at this moment in time, Spider-Man is very entrenched in everything that is Sony when it comes to the movies and the games. We don't know all the details that came from the renegotiations that happened between Disney and Sony, but I'm sure there's probably something in there that's allowing Sony to be able to have the ability to get this exclusive content. Now, people out here talking about is not pro-consumer and Xbox is all pro-consumer, but there's just a lot of things that I kind of find wrong with that, because at the end of the day, these are still businesses and they're here trying to find ways to entice consumers and gamers to their ecosystem. People use the word consumer friendly as it's supposed to be equal to fair, but a lot of things are not fair. And it's just funny that a lot of people that I've been talking to recently that are talking about that Sony is just very anti-consumer when it comes to something like Spider-Man going exclusively over to PlayStation. I'm just like, you guys are the same people who use iPhones and are always talking about blue bubble this, blue bubble that, and if you're a green bubble, like, I'm not talking to you. But you don't blink an eye saying, oh well, how come Apple doesn't let iMessage go on Android? Well, simply because they have made a product that they know that if it's good, it entices people. It's another feature that entices people to come over into their ecosystem. The same way how they have FaceTime, you don't see FaceTime over on Android. And do you think that's very pro-consumer that they're dividing people up like that, especially when it comes to family members that cannot FaceTime each other because they're simply on an Android, maybe for whatever reason? But it's okay when Apple's doing it, and now you are the same person now turning around saying, yo, F Sony. Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't line up and it's not consistent. And Microsoft themselves, they do the same thing. Like, everybody's talking about exclusive suck, but Microsoft got 15 studios, 13 that are really making games, and all of those are doing what? They're there to entice people into their ecosystem and to join and subscribe to Game Pass. Like, it's not confusing and it's not hard, because over in the PC space as well, you have game monitors that only support G-Sync instead of FreeSync, or FreeSync instead of G-Sync. So if somebody had an AMD graphics card, they're not going to be able to just go and use that monitor. That's not pro-consumer. And then there's people that are in the same server playing Call of Duty with 120 frames per second, and others are here stuck with 30. And that's not a fair equal playing ground. But these are all different things where people could say, well, the developers could easily cap it at 30 frames per second and not allow anybody to have 120 frames. Or if people have 120 frames, to separate those players from the players that have 30 frames, right? There's obviously lines that we need to draw here when it comes to this whole pro-consumer friendliness. But a lot of people are moving entitled, like, these companies owe you these things. Like, for me, of course, it makes it better if it was just there. But I don't expect Sony to do that for me, or Microsoft to do that for me. Like, they're making these things to have people go over to the ecosystem so then they can make money. That is why they exist as a business. It's the same thing with Nintendo. Nintendo makes Mario, they make Zelda, they make Pokemon. I wish Pokemon was on PlayStation, because I would play a lot more Pokemon games. But the reason why they have those on those systems is so, again, people would then go over to their system, and when they're over there, they will buy more games and then more money into the business, and then they grow. It's just the way things roll. And you can even think about when it comes to movies. Everybody always talk about the Microsoft's Game Pass is the next Netflix, but when you had Netflix, they also then came out with Crave, Prime Video, Disney Plus. Disney Plus actually ended up taking content from Netflix to then move over into their own ecosystem. And they did that. Why? Because if you want to watch this content, you need to go over and subscribe to them to build their business. Of course, it's not pro-consumer, but when you come in with the perspective and that ideal, you understand you're just not that angry. There's no expectation. You're not entitled for these companies to do these things for you, right? And then you're just not that. It's just, okay, cool. I'm gonna have to get myself a PlayStation. Okay, I'm gonna have to get myself an Xbox. And I get it. Some people are not gonna be able to dish out the money and get those things. But it's the same way how some players are not gonna be able to get the next 2080 Ti or get the next 120 hertz monitor. One of the next biggest anti-consumer thing is the price barrier. And I can't even tell you how many times I've had conversations recently with people who are then like, oh, F Sony, but then turn around and again, they are the biggest Apple fans. And it's like their pricing alone is a barrier to a lot of people gaining entry. And then they make a bunch of different things where it's only exclusive with their Apple products. Like we've all heard of the Apple walled garden, and they're quick to defend it, but now turn around and say it's not fair here. And I find it usually happens on the gaming side than anywhere else. Granted, it does happen other places, just not with the same loudness. I can't really think of the word I want to say right now, is drawing a blank, but essentially these companies are just out here to do one thing, and that is to make money. And sometimes by making money, it makes us happy and it just works that way. But if some people just understand that these companies are not entitled to share their products with everybody and their competitors and make their competitors money when they're the ones putting in resources, you would just understand like, yes, some of these things are bummers or these news announcements are bummers and it sucks, but you won't get so worked up and you won't let these things just ruin your life and just fester. Like, honestly, guys, it's gaming. This stuff is supposed to be fun. There's going to be pros and cons to owning each different console. Because you own one console, you are going to miss out on other things if you don't own the other ones, right? It's just the nature of the business and the nature of the beast. The same way that if you don't go and you spend money on the latest and greatest gear, you're not going to get the greatest and the latest graphics if you're on the PC side. So again, guys, let's just enjoy the thing that we love. There doesn't need to be so much vitriol. It is all good in the hood. So again, if you guys think I'm off base, let me know in the comments. If not, tell me why you agree. And if you're going to be getting both systems, or if you're just going to get one, let me know down in the comments. Thank you for those who made it through to the end of this video. Please share, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of the new videos that get posted. Again, it does so much in helping me grow this channel. I will have all the details on where you can follow everything Toronto in the description. That's everything for now. So it's not bye. Bye. See you later on the next one. And I'm out.